into Santiago. There's only about 10 kilometers left to the Praza de Obradoiro in Santiago de Compostela. The end for many Caminos. And I look forward to it with both a sense of excitement, but also a sense of dread, because this is definitely going to be a partial end to a beautiful and exhausting journey. But for now I'm still walking, and I'm walking through the forest that a year ago I walked by moonlight without a flashlight. It's different walking during the day. My friend Judith sprayed her ankle on the last kilometers yesterday. It's just one of those Camino things. So now Roger and I are taking turns carrying her backpack, because taking a taxi for this last bit is out of the question. And this is one way to make it work. The shared burden of carrying an extra backpack is nothing compared to enduring the pain of a sprayed ankle. Camino. Last year, when I arrived on the big plaza at the cathedral, exhausted after 24 hours of walking, and all by myself, it was a very strange, mixed emotion kind of thing. Walking 100 kilometers in one go is good for your ego in a way, but it's also bad. It was a necessity at the time, and that's why I did it. But this year is different. This year, I will take even greater pleasure walking into town with friends and knowing that many of the friends I've made on this Camino will be arriving today as well. And that's a very sweet thing to look forward to. Bittersweet also, because some of us might see each other for the last time. But I also know that some of these friendships are for life. What is it that makes the Camino so intense? What other experience is there that gives you a 5-week-long, highly intense physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual experience? What other experience indeed can offer such a sustained and multifaceted intensity? The relentless demands of the trail and the ever-shifting landscapes of the soul are like a furnace that strip away the superficial layers of your existence, leaving you raw and exposed. to the elemental forces that shape your world. And with each blister or aching muscle or strained ankle or just pure exhaustion, you are reminded of the fragility of the human form. But at the same time, you so often get to taste that sweet nectar of resilience. The Camino is like a splatter painting of contrasts, of pain and joy, of solitude and camaraderie, of doubt and epiphany. And as the kilometers fade behind you, the Camino almost reveals itself as a metaphor for life itself, of a journey fraught with challenges and uncertainties, but just as rich with amazing opportunities for growth and discovery. Maybe in the end, the Camino is a paradox. A physical journey that transcends the material realm. It's both a solitary quest, but that also creates unbreakable bonds. A crucible of intensity that ultimately leads to a profound sense of peace and clarity. It is one of those endeavors where mind and soul and body have to work together to get where you want to be. And they do. And that's also why the long time it takes is a requirement. This kind of thing doesn't happen in a week or two. It takes its time, as it has to. I'm not nearly done with thinking about what the Camino is. These are just some rough thoughts. I think there's a lot more there. But this is what I'm thinking as I'm approaching Santiago, that even has a cow barn 8 kilometers outside of the center. Think about that. This being my third walk into Santiago, every Camino I did was amazing in its own right, very special. Well, this one seemed particularly intense on many levels, which is, of course, a good thing. I plan on walking on to the end of the world, to Finisterre and Murcia, because that to me is the real goal, but it is still contingent on a few things. But yeah, I'm not done. Roger, this extremely kind and charming and funny man from the Netherlands, who had walked the Camino for 1,700 kilometers all the way from Vézelay and had seen all the beautiful bits of the Camino in France and in Spain, said that this last leg of 20 kilometers that we walked today was his most beautiful leg of the entire Camino. He said, because this was about friendship, because we shared the burden of carrying our friend's backpack. This was his most intense and beautiful piece of the Camino. And I think these words sum it up better than anyone else could. So thank you, Roger, for that, and also thank you for sharing the burden of carrying that backpack.
Hey!
Hallo!
Wie geht's?
Na?
Kommst du gerade an?
Ich komme gerade an.
Ach komm, wie cool.
Ja. Ich werde mit meiner Zukunft.
Ja, okay, bis gleich.
Aber wir sehen uns dann wieder.